Let there be light, right? That's how that works. Let there be light.
God.
Okay.
Okay. So, we know that we haven't recorded or posted anything in like 2 years.
We're still alive, we promise.
So
maybe.
In case you've forgotten, because everybody's probably forgotten at this point.
I think we forgot.
Nah.
Yeah.
My name's Brad. This is Mike. We're Dallas Geek. And this is our attempt at a podcast.
I think this is more of a reboot.
Yeah, we'll call it a reboot.
Call it a reboot. Hopefully this is more Force Awakens than Fantastic Four reboot.
Yes. So what we're hoping to do with all this is we just want to make some videos here on YouTube, on Facebook, wherever we can, and just take some time and give our opinions on pretty much all things nerdy. If you couldn't figure out by the name Dallas Geek, we live in Dallas and we're geeks with geeky interests. It's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, you don't need to be a Mensa member to figure that one out.
I certainly hope not.
No, God no.
But the whole thing that we wanted to do was just make a quick video giving a reintroduction to us, since really we didn't even do a proper introduction video the first time round.
No.
So this is us. It's very fumbled and just idiotic, and at some point in time we'll maybe stop rambling.
We wing it a lot. A lot.
But yeah,
I already finished mine, otherwise I'd be drinking as well. Very awkwardly, like he just did.
So yes. We figured the most appropriate introduction for us and explaining who the hell we are and why anybody should listen to anything we have to say when it comes to anything nerdy was just to give the quick
because we said so, basically.
Yeah. Give the quick explanation of how we became nerds and what we think it means to be part of nerd culture. And no, quick answer is it's not just we were born nerds, therefore we are. There is actually an evolution to us going from we like nerdy things to we know a lot of useless trivia. And
way too much useless trivia.
Yeah, and feel like we have something worthwhile to say about it.
Yeah.
So
we're knowledgeable enough that we know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And any asshole can have an opinion, so we just decided we put ours out there.
Yeah. So
you can like it or you can't. Your choice.
In this scenario, we're the assholes.
In case you couldn't figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so my quick overview is I got my first VHS copy of the Star Wars trilogy for Christmas when I was 3. And from that point on, I was pretty much hooked. Star Wars has always been my first geeky thing. It's always been my first, I guess, nerdy love. It is the thing that got me into nerd culture and continues to push me further into it. I love superhero comics, shows, movies, all that. I was massive fan of the Batman animated series growing up, and yeah, it kept evolving from there. A big thing that got me into the rest of nerd culture and trying to find out more about it after Star Wars really were the cartoons. The stuff that Paul Dini and other co-producer for animated series. Shit.
Smooth.
I know. I probably should have thought that one through.
Yeah.
But the big thing that guys like Kevin Conroy and later with Batman Beyond, Will Friedle, and just all the creative people behind those two shows and all of the other 90s, early 2000s animated shows about superheroes it really gave me a point of reference to know superheroes and make me want to find out more about them, which led to the comics.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously, as you can tell, DC was my first introduction to the superheroes, but it just kept evolving. And now with the movies and TV shows being as prevalent in live action as they are for superheroes, the resurgence of Star Wars.
Thank you, JJ.
I mean, it's a wonderful time to be a geek. So
yeah, we pretty much rule the world at this point.
Well, we like to think so.
No, we rule the world.
Yeah.
Every major movie franchise is a comic book or Star Wars related now.
Yeah. So what about you?
For me, man, it was Bruce Timm, by the way. That was the
thank you,
the co-creator for the
Paul
Batman
Dini
stuff.
and Bruce Timm.
Yeah,
thank you. Okay,
jackass.
Yeah.
Dude, for me, it was finding my dad's old comic books and X-Men, Spider-Man.
Yeah.
You know, the ones with the bright colored costumes and then from there, it just, you start reading them when you can read, and then your imagination takes over and you kind of create this whole world and everything like that, and then you just kind of fall in love with it. It was that simple for me, man. And then, like he said, Batman the Animated Series, Superman the Animated Series, the Spider-Man animated series from the early 90s as well, the X-Men animated series, because when you're a kid, cartoons are the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
And then from there, it spins off into like the Justice Leagues in the early 2000s. And then you get the Spider-Man franchise that dropped in 2000. I know you love the Tim Burton Batmans, me not so much. But
very much.
But they were there.
Yeah.
Looking back on them now, they haven't really aged all that well. At least I think. But they were there.
Whether you will ever change your mind on them or not, you do have to admit that they had a massive influence.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
The tone of Batman moving forward, as well as even the comics.
Yeah.
And from the aesthetics to giving it more freedom to go darker and to be more socially acceptable.
Yeah.
Rather than requiring it to stay in the more colorful feel that the 70s and early 80s had.
No, for sure. But it was also just the exposure that it gave it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like, it kind of gave us credence because I think we were looked down on as being nerds, and we were like, oh, why would you read comic books and this and that? And it's like, well, And then as it started becoming more mainstream, people started looking more into it, and they're like, oh, these characters are pretty damn amazing. Like, storytelling's fantastic.
Yeah.
And then from there, everybody just bought in, and like I said, now we rule the damn world.
Yeah.
So
no, it's been pretty great. And the other thing that I think helps now that it is nerdy entertainment is such a prevalent piece of pop culture. Something else that really helps is that it has become more generally seen of the various aspects that are involved in nerdy entertainment, from explanations and even full analyses of philosophy through various storytellings.
Mm-hmm.
How so much of nerd-based stories will be able to reflect modern culture, but do it in a way that it takes out a lot of the biases and prejudice to get straight to the main subject. Like, for example, Star Wars back in the early 2000s was able to talk about things as big as, the current state of world affairs after 9/11, but do it in a way that nobody really thought of as insulting or inflammatory, because it was all about talking about politics in the context of a galaxy far, far away with aliens, and it was a whole different thing, and nobody batted an eye at that. So I think it makes a big deal.
Like even more recently, the Civil War crossover that Marvel did.
Yeah.
Like, how much are you willing to give your government control over you to keep you safe, and at what point are you actually safe when you do it?
Yeah. So I think that's... I mean, it's just the tip of the iceberg, and hopefully we will get the opportunity to examine a lot more about all the different nuances in nerdy entertainment and how they really do... they've affected us, as well as what they mean to other people. And we really hope that we'll be able to dive into that the more that we do this. But just as a, now at just over 11 minutes, sort of quick introduction to us, that's our thoughts on it. And hopefully, if any of that sounds interesting, the stuff that we'll be putting out on here and our other social media platforms will be something that you all will want to check out.
Yeah.
So
hopefully you'll be hearing from us real soon.
And not in another 2 years.
No, that'd be a bad thing.
So with that is our reintroduction of ourselves, a proper introduction this time around.
Yeah.
And we will try to be at least semi-consistent with putting out content to really just interact, start a conversation, and hopefully you all will interact back with us, and we'll be able to have a proper a real conversation about this stuff. So yeah.
Cool.
Okay. Well, with that, this is Brad and Mike from Dallas Geek saying, see ya.